Can you mix constructive method with watercolors? Let's find out. Hi, my name is Orda. I'm the founder of Fundamentalist, an online art school that specializes in the constructive method of drawing. Constructive method is a great tool to teach and to study. It really helps you to inject realism, believability in your drawings and paintings. But sometimes I do feel like it can get a little rigid. From teaching over 5 years, I can say that it is a necessary side effect as part of your journey to master the fundamentals. Which is why I always remind my students, keep up with your personal work. Do not always get stuck in your study mode and neglect your expression. This is why when a local gallery reached out to me recently, inviting me to participate in their group show titled Red, I agreed almost immediately. This was the perfect chance to test out something that I have had in mind for a long time. I'll be creating constructive figure drawings from my imagination, but then use watercolor to paint them. In this way, I'm hoping to still be academically strong in my drawings, but use the most unpredictable, the most expressive medium, which is the watercolor, to see if I can blend the two perfectly and create expressive paintings for myself. As I start the drawing, I do have a rough idea in mind. These are supposed to be a set of 2 characters. But the most important thing here is the gesture. I'm thinking about the placement of the 3 big forms and the overall most important action. These are all aspects of constructive method. I'm putting together 2 bodies, but the difference is I'm not focused too much on anatomy or the smaller forms. I want to keep it gestural and I want to let them flow together as a set. As the drawing progressed, an idea came to mind. I really wanted to create shapes that are going to serve the watercolor later on really well. So I started creating these wave-like effects, at times neglecting accurate anatomy in favor of shape design. At this point, the drawings were done. I was quite happy with my progress. The drawings were accurate enough without being too rigid with unnecessary details. This is the key when you draw figures from your imagination. When you study anatomy, for example, it's not a bad idea to learn as much as possible of the body. But when you're creating, it's no longer about putting in all the information that you know. You need to pick and choose what's important for each pose, each artwork. As I start the painting process, I didn't plan the color scheme or have preliminary little sketches. I really wanted to have fun with this and try to stick to the theme of red. Everything else was spontaneous and an unknown. I've always used oil colors when it comes to painting, but watercolors have always been so alluring in its seemingly effortless freedom, the expressive brushstrokes and the way that the water flows. So you could say this project has been on the back of my mind for a while now. Let's see how the painting portion turned out. Keeping in mind the theme of this exhibition being the color red, I had limitations in terms of what color schemes I could utilize. I wanted to show strong accent red colors and then complement it with cool blues and greens. We've got some warm yellows, browns in there as well, just to neutralize the palette, because I find it really overpowering to just have 2 opposing colors. To mix in some neutrals and some adjacent colors will tie in the color palettes for us nicely. By the way, I have a pretty cool little piece of news to share with you guys. I've recently started partnering with Graphite Studio to bring you the most high quality figure and portrait references. If you click on the link below, you'll get a 20% off on your ref pack purchases. These reference packs are exactly what I use to teach my students. They are very high quality, well worth their modest price points. Even though the goal of this assignment is to push expressive brushstrokes and colors, I haven't neglected a certain level of realism. For example, I was sure of the light angle being indicated by the shadow and light distribution. The shadow shapes were designed to really be able to push that expression. If you've been following my classes on Instagram or YouTube, you'll know that I mainly work on a drafting table that is tilted at a very steep angle. So here we can observe the watercolors dripping down
almost like waves together, creating these beautiful effects. And this is kind of why I decided to do this, because it's just such a different, liberating experience compared to graphite or oils. And you can mix your colors directly on the paper in this case, which is beautiful. It's actually winter in Sydney, and this was such a cold day. But the room was packed. A lot of people showed up for the opening night. The atmosphere was just amazing. I was so happy to be able to participate in a local event like this.
Overall, I'm pretty happy about how this project turned out to be, and the experience was invaluable. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to check out the links down below.